the third choice keeper for the country. I'm nowhere near a full house. I don't think I've even got online.
We was expected this, though, wasn't we? I mean, Brazil got to offer, and anybody that snaps him up will be very fortunate. I'm really excited to see where he ends up.
Lean game for readjustments. Fight Egypt. Then they have probably their toughest game the opening night when they played Seattle against Belgium. Maybe not the Belgium of the last few UEFA and FIFA tournaments, but still a very strong team. Maybe get some easy when they go to Vancouver, play New Zealand, Iran back in Seattle.
We're looking at New Zealand. I mean, England only just beat them by 1 goal earlier with Harry Kane, so doesn't look like New Zealand are going to just kind of fall by the wayside either.
Hendrick jostling for space in the area. He's got a little bit earlier. Maybe that's all part of the routine. Routine gone wrong. Another excellent take from Mustafa Shabir. Shabir has won those gloves. He played only 1 game at the African nations against Angola. He's actually kept clean sheets in his previous 5 games. So a bit of a shock to his system tonight.
I know we spoke about both teams in the first 2 goals conceding, unforced errors, but I do think, and sometimes, make mistakes and learn from them, but I think the set pieces from Brazil, especially Rafinha's delivery, hasn't been anywhere near the levels we know he can deliver. I think they're overthinking it in moments, and I've seen 3 now in this game from Rafinha that haven't been nowhere near the levels we're used to.
It's taken a while for Egypt to settle into the second half. As the sun dips down behind the stadium. A little cooler now, centre stage. Now the bottom, Hassan take Egypt to new levels. Some acclaimed coaches in the past: Hector Cooper, Carlos Queiroz, Bob Bradley. Actually made his debut, Bob Bradley, the former United States coach, Swansea City as well, against Brazil back in 2011.
It was interesting because when Egypt were under Carlos Queiroz, they were so defensive-minded. When you're looking at a player like Mo Salah, Marmoush, those types of players in this system that they play now will work better for them. More on the front foot, possessing the ball really well.
Zico and Weberton wafted away, the veteran goalkeeper, 38 years of age. Brazil defend deep. Almost an invitation for Egypt to have a little pop at them. I think there is some work for the Ancelottis and Paul Clement on the training field back at camp to sharpen themselves up, the nuts and bolts of defense. I'm sure there will be communication between the assistant and the VAR assistant as well, and they have the backup of the highly tuned machinery. It is a World Cup like no other, isn't it? Expanded to 48 teams and all of the technology as well. Obviously, the granddaddy of the team at the age of 38 to his first cap over a decade ago. Oh, Hendrick almost feeding Martinelli. Salah shows a turn of pace.
Fabinho was so integral when they won the league as well. I mean, he's his positioning in that. Sometimes it's a really unforgiving role that people don't really notice.
A bit of control and a fair shot as well. Protecting Weatherton, the keeper.
Just as I said that about Fabinho, he came flying out of position in an unfamiliar territory, but he's so good at occupying those spaces in front of the back line.
Times are changing at Anfield. The supporters on Merseyside would love a younger Fabinho, maybe what they call the six role these days, as a holding midfield player. The Champions League, won the Premier League.
Alexandro starts at the left back position. Will it be Santos? I think Carlo Ancelotti knows, and I think the managers do know, and I think sometimes they tinker with these friendlies. But if you don't know you're starting 11 6, 7 days before a major tournament, then I'd ask questions of the manager, to be honest.
Ancelotti will know. Sure. They look pleading at the referee. Nothing given.
I spoke about Ashore coming into this game, and he's a player that I've seen play a lot. Egyptian fans are really hot, and I can see why, because every time he receives the ball, he's always looking forward. And I think that will bode well in the way Mo Salah wants to play, Marmoush wants to play in those areas. So they're looking backwards all the time.
It's a country that's absolutely mad about football, Egypt. It's the king, the Egyptian king. He's one, Mohamed Salah. They didn't embarrass themselves last time they made it to the World Cup finals in 2018. The heaviest defeat was against Russia 3-1 back in 1990. They made life difficult. They drew against the Netherlands and Ireland. Lost by a single goal against England. Their intention is to take it one step further. Of course, third place is likely to Thiago to quite pass the test of the audition in the first half. They're still waiting, of course, for Neymar and his MRI on Monday. There we go. And being parted for long, have they, Alisson, Mohamed Salah? Alisson will be at Liverpool as part of the revolution. Maybe just discussing the new manager at Anfield. And there's a third part of the Mersey beat, Fabinho as well. The Egyptian players heading over to their supporters to thank them for their support before they take the roadshow for 2 games in Seattle against Belgium and Iran. We're just waiting, by the way, for the confirmation of who is the man of the match. You don't get to choose this, but who would yours be? Who would the MVP be for you?
Well, I think in the first half, I thought Guimaraes was amazing. I mentioned as well about, the back line, Yasser Ibrahim for Egypt, I thought was excellent. Ultimately, Endrick coming into the game and getting the winning goal. As a former centre forward, usually you get player of the match if you score the winning goal. So, but I think there were some real standout performances. But Egypt, like I said, very, very good.
And a huge contingent of, I think, native Brazilians, expats as well in the country, and those who profess to be Brazilian supporters. There'll be a few that have taken on Egypt as their second team. Everybody has their host nation to support at the World Cup finals. An underdog that they take on as well. They've won a few friends tonight in Cleveland, Ohio, and wherever they go, the Brazilian Roadshow. They play their games all over the world, of course, don't they? They had their farewell game against Panama in Rio, and they have entertained the supporters in Cleveland, Ohio, doing a lap of, it's not a lap of honour anymore, is it? It's a lap of appreciation of the supporters. Cameras at the ready to get a selfie or a close-up of these world famous and household footballing names. Still, Egypt have never beaten Brazil in their 7 attempts. Kind of a cameo performance by Vinicius Junior in the first half, but he had his moments.
Yeah, I think, like I said before, ultimately, all that really matters is getting the result, but everybody getting through the game fit and healthy. And Wesley was the only player that went off in the first half. Hopefully, it's just precautionary. But I do think, Carlo Ancelotti will be delighted with how the team performed. And the best is yet to come for me. I think Vinny Junior is one of the best players in the world, and I think he'll show exactly why people feel that way within the World Cup. And equally, I think for Egypt, they'll be looking for small wins and getting their first ever win at a World Cup, and I don't think it's far-fetched for them. You know, Belgium, New Zealand, and Iran. It's possible.
Mohamed Salah hoping that he can improve upon a season at Anfield when representing his nation. 2 goals away from being the country's all-time leading scorer. We're just waiting for confirmation of who the man of the match will be. Will be presented by EA Sports FC 26, the World's Game. I think they're trying to catch up with the players to make that award down there on the shop floor. They clearly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, like I said many times, it's all about the fans coming out, enjoying themselves. It's a real carnival atmosphere. And hopefully that continues within the World Cup, especially in the fan parks, the fan fests. But I think when the pressure then, you know, comes into these games and you have to win their must-win games, it's good for the players to be out there enjoying their moments, you know, the fans to see them one last time before they head into another major tournament where the pressure will be there. Big expectations for this Brazil side. No one's tipping them to win it, but I think with the squad they have, the individuals they have, personally, I wouldn't want England to play them. I know England could potentially play them in the quarterfinal, but like the individuals are amazing. And with a manager like Carlo Ancelotti, one of the best in the world, you never know, they could be an outside chance.
Well, many of the countries have a superstar out there on the field. Carlo Ancelotti, one of the most celebrated managers in footballing history, winning titles in all 5 of the major European leagues. 2 spells at Real Madrid, Champions League on 5 occasions as well. And at the age of 67, later in the week, trying to prove his legend on the international stage. There we go. That's going to be a selfie, that photographer. He's got all that equipment there, and he ends up taking a photograph on his mobile phone. Me and Vinny Jr. Well, he aims to be one of the star attractions at the World Cup finals. Brazil gathering pace. Morocco in New Jersey. Haiti in Philadelphia. And then Scotland in Miami, who had a big victory earlier today. Don Hutchison, our colleague at ESPN, tells us that after that victory, Scotland are going to go on and win the World Cup.
I thought I was buying it.
Boxes to be ticked when it comes to the World Cup. That and a Scotland World Cup song as well. Well, the supporters filtering out of the stadium. They've enjoyed the entertainment. They've enjoyed seeing the players with their own eyes. And 48 nations will be ready to do battle. Well, there you go. Both managers will be happy that they got through the 90+ minutes tonight, Leanne, without any injuries. Of course, there's just the one issue for Brazil. Wesley picking up a slight knock in the first half. And then the manager maybe wisely taking the players out. And I'm sure the players wanted to do a full 90 minutes. It's all about preservation and now rest and recovery for the big kickoff.
Yeah, it's interesting because I spoke about the fact that I love Igor Thiago. I think he's had a fantastic season at Brentford, 22 goals. But I think the real question for me will be who will lead the line. Will it be Cunha that plays in the 10? Will Vinny Jr. go in the 9? Will he go out onto the left-hand side? And I do think that's the one question mark I have for this Brazil side. Gabriel, no doubt, will come back in there alongside Marquinhos. And I think equally for Egypt, you know, they go to Lumen Field in Seattle, one of my favourite places to do a game. Well, love doing games there. The field looks exquisite as well.
Let's give credit to the referee tonight, handled it perfectly. Undernight Gonzalez from Mexico, big night for him. And the pitch was perfect as well. Quite often when you see the fields in the States, people wonder whether they are going to be up to the standards, but it's a perfect surface, a perfect stage. An excellent evening for the supporters who've come out and clearly enjoyed seeing the superstars with their own eyes, taking the NFL and the NBA around the world. And now they're bringing the best footballers on the planet to the United States, Mexico, and to Canada. And finally, we can present the man of the match, presented by EA Sports FC 26, the world's game to Endrick.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was him. That's what I was saying. And if you come into a game and have that impact and you score the winning goal, 9 times out of 10, you will be getting that trophy. And I think he deserves it. There was a lot of changes in the game. So for me, Guimarães was the best player for Brazil in the first half. Then he went off, and I thought Endrick had a real impact. So I think that he deserves that.
Award winner, ultimately the match winner. And he's hoping that he's won himself a place in the starting 11 for the World Cup finals. They kick off with their most difficult match against Morocco on the 13th of June. Maybe there's one place up for grabs, and that was the centre forward spot. The teenager has certainly trying to catch the eye of Carlo Ancelotti when they head to the locker rooms. Been a good contest. This Egypt certainly didn't embarrass themselves. Good sparring partners for Brazil. They made life difficult, but ultimately Brazil winning by the odd goal. 2-1 for Brazil. Enjoy the World Cup finals from myself and Leanne.